On June 30th, it was announced Lil Tjay is making significant progress in his recovery after the rapper was affected by firearms. Sources familiar with TJ's situation tell TMZ that he's awake and alert. He's even speaking on his own. What's most promising is doctors recently removed his breathing tubes, and when speaking, his voice sounds just like it did before the incident. Now that Lil Tjay is able to communicate, the police want to speak with him about details surrounding the incident. With the police gaining information on the incident, there was a leak in the court files. In this leak, they showcase photos of Muhammad K, the main suspect in the incident, being involved in many of A Boogie's music videos. There was even allegedly photos of Muhammad up and close with A Boogie in the music videos and just in the regular streets. It was reported that Muhammad has ties with A Boogie and is a close member in street teams within Highbridge, New York. The Lil Tjay and A Boogie beef has been going on since TJ's quick rise to fame, with both artists having a very similar sound. With being from different camps in New York, it sparked a huge issue with A Boogie, as in February 2020, A Boogie tweeted, "Light bet. Keep on trying to sound like me without showing love, and I'ma start to sue ya." For real though, this is getting out of hand. I'm not trying to knock nobody's hustle, I'm just getting sick of the craft y'all be bringing to the table. It's making this boring. Now TJ would then go on to reply with this: "People be mad when it's the next person's turn to shine. Move out of the way and watch me win." Now it wasn't long until after a short clip was released to the internet. In a stairwell, Lil Tjay was asked, "People out here trying to say that you're an A Boogie clone," as Tjay replies, "Me personally, I don't try to copy anything. There will always be rumors made, but I ain't a clone." Now the feds made an official police report documenting everything going on in the Lil Tjay case, and they also highlighted something concerning involving A Boogie. Now on early morning of June 22nd, news outlets were reporting that New York rapper Lil Tjay was in an altercation where firearms were used. There's two different stories being released on what happened. Here's what the feds report said. According to reports in Edgewater area of New Jersey, Lil Tjay alongside two friends named Jeffrey Valdez and Antoine Boyd were ran up on in a Chipotle parking lot. As Lil Tjay and his two friends were inside of their vehicle, suspect Muhammad K, age 27, ran up on Lil Tjay as he showed up to the parking lot in a white BMW with a driver. With Muhammad holding a firearm near his waistband with his window rolled down, he demands Tjay to give up his diamond-studded Rolex alongside his chains. Lil Tjay obviously refused. His boys also refusing, telling this man to back away from the vehicle. Muhammad is then seen walking closer to Lil Tjay's window, raising up his firearm, making it visible, and demanding once again, "Give me all of your chains and your watch." Now with emotions running high, allegedly one of Tjay's friend made a sudden move which made Muhammad use his firearm towards Tjay and company. Lil Tjay, being the closest to Muhammad, took a majority of the damage. One of Lil Tjay's friends were also affected during the situation, not nearly as bad as Tjay. The third person Lil Tjay was with then allegedly brought out his firearm, starting to retaliate against Muhammad, defending his boys, especially Lil Tjay, who was in a very bad condition. Muhammad is then seen falling to the ground, as Tjay's boy connected a few while he was trying to get back into his vehicle. With Muhammad falling to the ground, the driver of the BMW hops out of the vehicle, grabbing Muhammad and dragging him across the parking lot to get him into his car. He then sped to the local hospital and dropped Muhammad off at the front door. With his friend picking up Muhammad's shoes fell into the parking lot. He was also dragged across mulch and dirt that was near the curb. And with Muhammad being rushed to the local hospital, an ambulance was already on its way for Tjay. The ambulance then arrives and they try saving Lil Tjay, which was successful. Tjay was then airlifted to a hospital in serious condition, but thankfully the paramedics and doctors were able to get processes done, which upgraded Lil Tjay from critical to stable condition. But here's where the story gets interesting. As Lil Tjay was being airlifted to the hospital, it was very quick when the New York police arrested Muhammad. as in New York City, there's cameras everywhere. You can't really commit a crime like this without being caught anymore. Now, as mentioned earlier, Muhammad was allegedly affected by TJ's boy while trying to run back to his vehicle. In the process, Muhammad's shoes fell off of his feet, and then he fell into mulch that was near the curb. Now, this is when the driver obviously dragged Muhammad inside of the vehicle, and with Muhammad leaving his shoes in the pavement as well as the mulch all over his clothing, this was all documented on his paperwork once arriving to the hospital. The hospital then gave this information to the feds, as he was also affected by a firearm, so immediately police are involved. And with police already arriving to the scene where Lil TJ was, they found a pair of sneakers as well as the mulch all destroyed on the curb. So it wasn't hard to put 2 and 2 together, and Muhammad was arrested within an hour of doing this crime. Now, Muhammad is being charged with attempted armed robbery, and firearm offenses. Now, here's where the streets actually reveal the truth. Everything I mentioned is records from the police, but here's where YouTuber Hassan Campbell comes in. Now, popular YouTuber with connections in the streets got a different word of what happened, so follow along. Now, he mentions the police is covering up this entire thing for the hotel property that this happened on. As the feds wrote in their statement, this all happened in a Chipotle parking lot. Well, it actually happened in a hotel parking lot that had a Chipotle inside. And Hassan mentions that Lil TJ was sitting in a parked vehicle outside of a hotel in New York. TJ was sitting in the parked car with his cousin Bubba. The third friend wasn't actually in the vehicle. Instead, the third friend was upstairs in a hotel room using the bathroom at a pretty convenient time, I might add. And even when the whole situation broke down, he stayed in the bathroom inside of the hotel. Now, the suspect Muhammad, who initially ran up on Lil TJ, was also affected by a firearm, but he wasn't from TJ's crew. Hassan mentions there was multiple men with firearms trying to run up on Lil TJ. One of them that was in the back row actually is the one who did it to Muhammad, as he probably got a little bit nervous and ended up using his firearm accidentally. So when Muhammad fell to the ground, one of the suspects that was going after TJ is the one who picked him up and dragged him through the bushes to their vehicle so they could drive away. While being dragged through the bushes, this is how his shoes fell off. His shoes got stuck in some of the bush branches, which then made them fall off, as well as being dragged through the mulch. Now, this explains the mulch all over Muhammad's clothing and why his shoes fell off. Now, all while this was all going down, TJ's third friend is still in the bathroom inside of the hotel. This raises the question of, was Lil TJ targeted, and did TJ's friend set him up? Hassan is very connected to the streets. Personally, I believe him more than I do the feds. And with it being reported even in court files that the man who did it, Muhammad, is a part of A Boogie's camp, being seen in multiple music videos, as well as taking selfies with A Boogie in front of a Sprinter van. So it's pretty obvious that somebody knew that Lil TJ was sitting in that parked vehicle. And with A Boogie and TJ already having so much back and forth beef, it doesn't seem too crazy to believe that A Boogie could have been involved in this situation. Anyways, it's amazing news to hear that Lil TJ is up and awake. If you love that, leave a like on this video. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.